Our network. Good to be back again. Happy weekend, everyone. Yeah. So, guys, please can you like, share, and let's interact. Let's see what is happening. Today has been a busy day. Um, with court cases, Supreme Court having to do with them all today, especially the governorship elections. I said the one in Kano State, Lagos State, Abia State, all around, man. It was I mean, it was maybe as expected, Tattoo State, all the same thing. So that's how it is, guys. Life goes on, and we are saying we no go gree. We no go gree for anybody. So that is slogan for this year. We don't agree for anybody. We don't agree for nonsense. We don't agree for failure. We don't agree for intimidation. Okay? So guys, let it be. We can personalize it also. Say this year I don't agree for failure. This year I don't agree for poverty. This year I don't agree for bad governance. This year I don't agree for bad leadership. Okay? Guys, that is how it's supposed to be. Nigeria, that's how it's supposed to be. This year I don't agree for bad leadership. That is how it is. This is a slogan for everyone. I don't agree for bad thing. So that is it. So I don't agree for anything that is evil. Any bad leadership, I don't agree. Okay? So guys, you are welcome. That's my network. For me, I always like to encourage everyone at the beginning. Stay strong, no giving up, no giving in. The Supreme Court they did that stuff today. Lagos, the Lagos, Kano, Plateau State, Abia State, many states. Okay, so well, the outcome, which was as expected anyway. It was only Kano State people were just bored. People, I know that they were bored. Had they been, they turn it, they would have bored. Actors would have bored. So I think they were accessible enough not to do otherwise. Okay, not to do otherwise. Anyway, to the Lagos guy, roads, don't worry, man. Struggle continuous, okay? This road to roads, continuous, man. I will continue. And everybody, man, let's stay strong. The struggle continues. I mean, we are going to take it all. We'll take it all. It's a fight that we cannot give up right now. Okay. All the obedience, women, Nigerians, we can make Nigeria work again. Okay. Despite all they are doing. Okay. Okay, great. But guys, it's weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Make it happen. Okay. Make it happen. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't let anybody kill your spirit. Don't let anybody decide your mood or your happiness. Okay, be happy. Create your happiness for yourself. Create it. Okay, create yourself. Create your happiness, man. You have to create your happiness. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't let anybody do that for you. Don't let anybody do that. Okay, you have to create it. That is how it is. Create it. Because if you want to wait for these people, they will make sure they punish you so that you will not be happy. Mhm. They don't care. They will make sure they punish you that you will not be happy. They will frustrate your life and frustrate you to make sure you are not just happy. So don't wait for anybody, man. Okay. Have make- Even if you don't have money, you can make yourself happy. Okay, you can do it. You can willingly, wholeheartedly do it without waiting for anyone. All right, guys. So um today, so many things are happening. As I said, the court judgment today. Governorship elections or the IP, the Supreme Court. And, I'd like to start with Arise TV with the analysis of the Court of Governance. We'll go into that. I will play it, watch them, analyze it. Mr. Obi has said uh, there's a record development for what people did as part of the cutting of his entourage, but they should define it. What for what? How much are they going to save? And the service, what's it going for? So this is important, not just talking for talking. Not just talking for talking. You can say, okay, I reduce people following me from 20 to 6. Meanwhile, you're supposed to use the same money. Yeah. So all this stuff we need to be dealt with. And meanwhile, the money has been assigned already for the bill for your use. So what are you going to do with the money? So all these things are important. That is why, man, we Nigerians, we have to let's be vigilant. Let's be watchful. Let's be speaking out. We should not be quiet. Let's be speaking out. We see where is good. Okay. We see what do you think they need to fix or we need to talk about. Man, we talk about it. Okay. We talk about it. But for me, I say I no go gree for bad leadership. For me, I no go gree for failure or poverty. For me, I no go gree for oppression. For me, I no go gree for anything I know say it no go make me happy. Okay? Anything I know say it no go good for Nigeria, I no go gree for that thing. Okay? Let that be a slogan. Let it be a slogan. I no gree for anything evil, anything bad, terrorists, no gree. Banditry, no gree. Okay? Oppression, no gree. Okay? No gree for oppression, guys. No gree for anything evil. Okay? That is it. Oh, guys, let's sit. I would just like to analyze things. Let's just spend some time. Let's spend some time. As if I say, into not go grief for anybody. So let's not grief for anybody.
Are you going to agree? Okay.
I don't
you don't agree, no problem.
2024, I don't agree for anybody.
Guess what? That's what we're starting the story with today.
No agree.
Well, all right.
Viewers, no agree.
Okay. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending this beautiful Friday morning with a catchphrase, no grief for anybody, which was adopted by the youth to usher in the new year. Well, the Nigerian police force early this week warned that the catchphrase, which loosely means do not tolerate any form of nonsense from anybody or do not allow yourself to be bullied by anyone, could plunge Nigeria into crisis of monumental proportions. The spokesperson for the Nigerian police force, Muyiwa Adejobi, made the announcement during a press briefing on Tuesday in Abuja.
And let me say again, on this note, that the new slogan for 2023-24 for our young ones is no degree for anybody. We have been informed from our intelligence that this slogan is coming from a revolutionary sector that may likely cause problem across the country. No degree for anybody is being seen as just a normal talk, but in security business, in security community, we have seen it as a very, very dangerous slogan that can trigger crisis.
C'est maintenant qu'il faut se positionner. Vous l'avez vu,
on n'est plus at all for anybody. So guys, not agree for anybody. Please, they talk their own. With security, your own to fight for security information and make other people in Nigeria. This is different. Not grief for oppression, not grief for evil, not grief for anything that is bad. Okay, we not agree for anybody. We not agree for oppression. Bad leadership will not agree. We not agree. So don't say we will agree, right? So guys, not agree for anything evil. We not agree. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue with let's continue. Let's continue with them.
Of insecurity. The Director of Defense and Media Operations, Edward Buba, made the comment while speaking at a press briefing in Abuja on Thursday as he urged Nigerians to see security as a collective responsibility.
This year, 2024, I urge citizens of this country to see security as a collective responsibility of all. Therefore, no gree for terrorists, no gree for perpetrators of insecurity.
All right, so Rufai, you had the security forces, there's no synergy here. I mean, the police on one hand is saying, you guys will plunge Nigeria into, insecurity, anarchy. No grief for anybody. I mean, I don't even know what that means. But you know what? Our governor here, Lagos State Governor, posted a tweet yesterday. Let's pull up that tweet. He wrote, throwback to this beautiful night of excellence and laughter as we hosted the Super Eagles before they set up for hashtag AFCON 2023. I am looking forward to their first match. And the message to them was clear. No gree for anybody. Bring home the Cup of Nations. Rufai, go ahead.
In fact, we should start by sending the police officer, Mr. Muyiwa Gujabi, no gree for anybody message. What is revolutionary about no gree for anybody? I mean, I think it has a history that this song that went viral by a certain gospel singer, and these are slogans, these are chants, it's pop culture, it's pop slang.
Absolutely.
They've been there from time immemorial. I mean, there is no revolutionary slant to anything. The military understands it. It's a word that catches on among the netizens and everything. Just like they play. We have a lot of these words.
Yes.
And even politicians have used it. So is it like a code for criminals when they say no gree for enemies? It's nothing of such. And that's why Mr. Femi Falana has been able to ask them, what is this thing? I think what the police should be doing is make police no gree for criminals in society. They should go after criminals, bandits, terrorists, terrorizing people in the Northeast. Make police no gree for insubordination. A lot of their members of staff have bad welfare. Police officers are suffering, they have nothing to eat. Make police no gree for bad politicians that are sending them to go and do evil, as against the normal ethos they're supposed to sign up for. Make police no gree for bad service. And it goes back to the talk about customer service of the police officers. And that's why I still feel, there should be a service that oriented mindset for the police force. Not, a force or authority mindset. Make police no gree for any katakata, people that cause katakata in society. Because they keep saying police is your friend, but it's only when you enter problem, that police might not be your friend. So police should be concerned about changing that mindset, not about victimizing a common word or people that use the word by saying no gree for anybody. I'm happy about the military. They keyed into the buzzword of no gree for anybody. The governor is using it. And I would like to ask, because when they want to bobo us, they say they have intelligence. That's another Gen Z word, bobo.
No, really.
When they want to give us it's a millennial word.
It's not Gen Z.
So when they want to give us custard,
Is that what?
That's another. I mean, I'm good with this.
Please, let's speak English. Just in case we plunge Nigeria
into a no greasing. So when they say it's based on intelligence, if there was any intelligence, I thought the military too was supposed to have the intelligence by not using the word. So I challenged that police PRO to bring out the intelligence report that say no gree for anybody has become a revolutionary slogan. Because we live in this same country where people say worse on TV and the police was defending. It was a very grave point you raised, Ayo. We all remember what MC Oluomo said leading up to the election. And we all remember what the police officer in Lagos, the commissioner, came out to defend. Pretty much was defending him. We all saw people that said worse. They will not go and carry them.
Okay.
But you say no gree now. You can't.
Young people who decide, I'll just start of, like you mentioned, pop culture, no gree for anybody. And so many people have put a spin on it. In the Christian world, they say don't gree for the devil.
Yes, no.
You see the DHQ say no gree for bandits. We see governors always say no gree for anybody at the AFCON. Bring back the cup. But let me, in defense of maybe perhaps to speak as to where the FPRO was coming from. On his Twitter page, he goes on to explain a bit further. He says that, yes, no, he tempered down a little, I think because of the outcry and the bashing he got from that statement. He said he didn't say that you shouldn't use it, but you should be more reasonable when you want to apply or use a slogan. Then one of his guys, DSP Bright Edafe, PPR in Delta State, then posted up a skit where somebody said no gree and then went to hit someone back and then he said, you see what we're talking about? So that's the intelligence report, by the way.
That's
intelligence report. People are using it as a skit to slap people back. But let me just say that one of the things that we don't know how to do is how to spin pop culture in the favor of the government. everything is seen as is a resistance, is bad. And sometimes I would say that it has to do with age and sometimes cultural dispositions. You know how you say, oh, your words, why are you saying this? How do you say? We all have our parents in the WhatsApp group who would say that you won't go down in Jesus' name. You know, things like that. So I can understand his sentiments. But I think he can also see the light-hearted part of this, unlike the people who've shown the DHQ, the governor, spin it around. The police can even turn it around into a slogan for the police. So if he's concerned that this might aggravate or push people into perhaps violent responses, then let the police, in educating the public, use it as an opportunity, a tool to spin it around into more positive messaging.
Absolutely.
So I think rather than just having the response by a lot of state actors or officials is to shut down, block Twitter, do this, X is gone, is to see how we can use that and spin it into positive news.
I love that. Dr. Abati.
Very quickly, I find it, shocking that Muyiwa Adejobi, the spokesperson of the police, is using the word intelligence. That we have gathered intelligence, Wow. So to see a uniformed officers using the word intelligence gathering so loosely, so lightly, speaks to the capacity of the institution and the capacity of the spokespersons of these, security institutions. The same Nigerian police that could not gather intelligence when they were slaughtering people in Plateau State, in 3 different local governments, is pursuing intelligence over popular slogan. We no agree for anybody. So, and then they say this is coming from a revolutionary sector. This is a dangerous trend. No, Muyiwa Adejobi should not end there. He has to identify that revolutionary sector, where it is located, and share that intelligence with us. So, I mean, they think this is a joke. Now, the military did much better, as you have pointed out, saying we no go agree for terrorists, and he contextualized it by talking about collective responsibility in terms of securing Nigeria, which is a moot point that has been made again and again. Now, words are semiotic reference, language can be interpreted in different ways. And with this, we no go agree. I mean, as a student of language, what we have seen is that people have applied it in different senses.
Yeah.
You've given us some examples, the police, the military, then Governor Sanwo-Olu using the same phrase to encourage the Super Eagles to do well in Ivory Coast, even if we have been told that, yes, we have a squad, but we don't have a team, because these are individual players. But we'll begin to see from Sunday when we play our very first match. But look at another positive sense in which it has been used to show determination, standing up for your rights. I read a piece by Mrs. Betty Rabo. She went to a supermarket. When she left the supermarket, she had enough presence of mind to check the receipt that she had been given, only to find that salmon, that should not be more than 8,000 naira. What was recorded on her receipt was 49,000 naira. She immediately turned back and went back to the supermarket and said, please check this receipt. How can you sell salmon for 49,000? We used to buy it 8,000 naira. Even if it's going to jump, why will it jump to 49,000 naira? And she said, we no go agree on this matter. Yes. We no go agree for this salmon that you have increased. At the end of the day, they asked for a bank account. They refunded her and put the appropriate 8,000 naira there. Yes. How many of us go to supermarkets, go to restaurants? Yes. We don't check the receipt. Yes. They will inflate the money. You just think, oh, this is the amount. You go and pay. I like that kind of Betty Rabo say, we no go gree.
Perfect example.
It's about diligence. Yes. It's about determination to defend your rights. Well, so what is Muyiwa Adejobi talking about? Freedom is not absolute and all that. Their job is to ensure security, safety of lives and property. Yes. That's what you should be talking about instead of chasing slogans up and down. Are they so distracted in 2024 that they don't know what their assignment is again under the laws of Nigeria?
All right.
I will challenge my very good friend. He must bring that intelligence out.
We are waiting for the intelligence. We are.
You must bring it out.
We're waiting.
I don't agree for you today.
All right. Shall we take another story then? We are not agreeing. We'll take another story. A lawsuit.
I will come back to them, okay? I'll come back to them just for analysis. I just want to spend some time. This is a Friday evening. So guys, no grief for anybody, no grief for terrorism, no grief for failure, no grief for bad leadership, no grief for oppression. This is 2024. I'm just starting the year, man. No grief for anything that will affect your happiness. No grief for suffering. Enough is enough. Nigeria has suffered too much. Enough is enough. We have a lot and enough remedy things. See, you see, all this stealing stuff they are doing. Look at the better gate now. That lady, is it Halima, that stole under 5 days, 44 billion naira. Under 5 days. Put it in her own account, stress account. Well, this is, we don't agree. We should not, they don't agree. We don't agree for this kind of stuff, okay? This is the study for this. We don't agree for bribery and corruption. We don't agree for nonsense. We don't agree for this nonsense. Enough is enough. We cannot continue to live like this. We cannot continue like this. No, enough is enough. People are suffering too much in that country. So we need to, let's start talking. Even the court of governance, they said they did. It's not enough. It's not enough. They should, from head to toe, from head to the top, they should make a lot of changes, because Nigeria don't deserve what is happening right now, man. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it, man. They don't deserve it. So I think we can make it better. I really believe we can make it better, okay? Anyway, guys, that is part of it too. I believe we can make it better. Let me come back to them. I'll come back to them, okay? But all the same, we need to really be rational in everything we're doing in our country, man. Because we are wasting resources in that country. Too much waste. Too much waste. So I believe, okay, now, wait, let me go back to them. Just one moment. Let's go to them. Okay.
That to be appropriated to the office of law. Let's see if the First Lady will return the funds. Well, in the meantime, Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, has criticized the directive by the president to slash the number of people on entourages for international and local travels by 60%. Presidential spokesperson Ajuri Ngelale announced the new measure on Tuesday, stating that the move is part of cost-cutting measures of the presidency and that the measure will affect the office of the president, vice president, first lady, ministers, and heads of agencies. While reacting to the development, Peter Obi, in a post on X, said the measure is just scratching the surface. His tweet reads in part: the just announced 60% cut in the size of federal official entourages on travel is one positive step towards a reduction of cost of governance and a way of halting wastage. But this measure is just scratching the surface, as it is limited in scope and can only lead to a very negligible savings. We are yet to be told how much savings this will amount to. While this modest step may be somewhat commendable, what is desirable should be both a 60% reduction in federal official overseas trips, as well as a 60% reduction in the size of delegations. Most importantly, what our current economic reality demands a 60% reduction in the total cost of governance at the federal level. It is not enough to announce arbitrary cuts in the size of federal official entourages. The nation needs to be informed of how much the measure will save and where such savings will be applied. We're talking about savings here. I mean, both Maxwell and Peter Obi have, said the right things here, because, what is the cut? What is the cut of governance here? What is the 60%? What does the 60% entail? That's what a lot of people are asking.
Yeah, to be fair, a number of people have said that it might be negligible in terms of the cost of, when you look at the cost of governance or how much savings a 60% cut in the staff members or members of staff who travel. But that's not the big thing. That there should be more of a deeper look into other areas which we talked about in terms of ministries, department, agencies. We looked at, we've talked about going back to the Steve Owensanya report in terms of streamlining government and cutting government wastages, especially with duplication of activities or responsibilities. We've talked about that a number of times. So while this sounds really nice and the optics look good, and any savings, to be fair, is welcome, what we're saying is that there's a lot more that can be done. Now, going back to the story of Maxwell Okpara and the First Lady, what I was going to say was that, so two things. It boggles my mind why successive governments can't just put it into, if you're really passionate about First Lady, the office of the First Lady, make it as part of the law and let things be done legally. If you're so passionate, the US has the office of the First Lady. There's budget allocated to that office. So if you really are passionate about your wife being, but let's stop this narrative of, it's not in the Constitution, it will not be recognized. And then you keep putting money into that and it's illegal, it's not constitutionally recognized. Why do we keep doing that? The second aspect on the flip side is this. The president's wife famously said during campaigns that she doesn't need Nigeria's money, that they have enough money of their own. So in terms of running her office, can she take the same energy into ensuring that it's 1.5 billion naira? It's not a lot if you look at it for, in terms of how much money they have, and I'm sure they probably declared. So it's not anything that should be contentious to this extent where Nigerians are calling for a return of the funds. In terms of being honorable, just do it and spend, money for yourselves. I believe that there should be an office created if we want it, but it should be done properly. Right. Let it go through the House of Representatives, let it be passed as law and be signed in, and let us know we have an office. And let this, under budget, allocations be done. That's my take on that. They do work. Since First Lady Mariam Babangida, she uplifted the office of the First Lady, and they play quite a critical role. But it's important that it's well defined in our Constitution, and then there's also an allocation that's reasonable in light of current economic realities.
Do you think Maxwell Okpara will go anywhere with this case? I mean, I'm not even sure, Dr. Abati.
No, Nigeria does not need to put office of First Lady or to define it in the Constitution. No. It is unknown to the law. Yeah. It is unknown to the law. And they don't do that even in other countries of the world. I think it was Mrs. Obama that was interviewed in one of these episodes. And she was saying that even in the White House, there's a limit to what you can eat. Yes. If you eat more than what you should eat, you will pay for it. Yeah. She said it's like living in a hotel. So there's nothing about wives here. The Nigerian people voted for the president. It's the president that is known to them. Yeah. There's nothing called office of the First Lady or office of the wife of the governor. However, the important thing by this suit by Maxwell Okpara, which everybody must note, is that the law is there to serve the people, but you never really know the full extent of the law or the extent to which government breaks the law unless you test the law. So what Maxwell Okpara is doing is called testing the law. And he has quoted the relevant sections 80, 81, 84, and section 162, dealing with federal allocations. And nowhere in all of these sections, he is saying, is the office of the First Lady mentioned, either at the federal level or at the state level. These positions are unknown to law. It's a convention that we borrowed from the Americans, whereby we elevate the wife of the president or the governor to a height that is not provided for in the law. We all laughed when President Buhari, I think in Germany, when he was asked about the wife, and he said the place of his wife is in the other room. Now, we laughed at it.
Some people laughed. Some people did not find it funny.
We thought it was misogynistic. Some people thought. But he was stating a basic fact. He may have used the phrase the other room, which people may find offensive. But the import of it is that office does not exist in the governance process. Wives exist to support their husbands, whether in the kitchen or in the living room. Don't let me bring up that conversation. Now, the other thing you pointed out is that the judge who was in charge of the case, Justice Mohammed, has now been elevated to the appellate court, and that the case was supposed to be heard yesterday in court, January 11. That's not an issue. The Federal High Court has a system. They have 94 judges under the federal capital territory. And the head of that, the chief judge of the Federal High Court of Nigeria is Justice John Soho. It is Justice John Soho's responsibility to reassign the case. That's his job. There's a head of the Federal High Court, okay? After all, recently he redeployed judges. So nobody should have any fear in that regard. Nobody should say, oh, they don't want to hear the case. That is not true. The court, part of the job of the court is to allow citizens to test the law. As for the point made by Mr. Peter Obi about cosmetic attempt at cutting costs, no, it's absolutely correct. This is what we've been saying since the president announced slashing of entourage and delegation list. We've said it. It is for government to plug leakages. And Peter Obi drew attention to the 2024 budget and said, look, if you look at that 2024 budget, there is a lot of opportunity for wastage there. We want a leaner government. We don't want a fat government where people will go into government and they develop pot bellies. That's not the kind of government we want. We want a lean and efficient government. So he's right in that regard. And there are other things that the president can do, including looking and going back to the Onosaye report.
Absolutely.
I rest my case.
Rufai, really quickly on Peter Obi's case on cutting costs of governance.
No,
really
I mean, but he said it all.
Yes.
Because there were many points for wastage in that budget. I mean, when you even see what's happening in the humanitarian ministry, you wonder what is going on. And that's why I feel that ministry should be scrapped. You can have interventionist program without having a ministry. Obasanjo did poverty alleviation program. There was no humanitarian ministry. I don't know why President Buhari created it. It should be scrapped. We should reduce bureaucracy. Just as we should never even think of the office of a first lady. As you are there as a woman with your man, you support your man. There are many intellectual first ladies I've appreciated so much. Hillary Clinton was one of them when she was, wife of Bill Clinton. Did a lot of support as regards policy, because she's a very cerebral Ivy League school trained woman. They both met in an Ivy League institution, and he did a lot of work with him, as regards the educational sector and many sector. Joe Biden's wife too is doing the same. Equally, Emmanuel Macron's teacher is currently teaching him too about policy and conduct his wife.
Not really teaching each other anymore.
You guess I know. So while she was there, she did a lot of that. Also, we've had very strong characters, that are women in the life of leaders, and they put in, but we cannot give room for bureaucracy. And we keep going back to citing Miriam Babangida because, she did it during a military regime and she went away with it. It does not make it good. You can have your own pet project, fund it yourself. Mrs. Tinubu has a New Era Foundation or Renewed Initiative. She should fund it from their own personal purse and everything. Use their goodwill to get money to fund it. You should not try as much as possible to use that to now open an office and bring more bureaucracy.
But I get Ayo's point, really, I do. Because if there is an office for the First Lady, then these allocations can be justified. Instead of having those budgets in the Appropriation Act, just give her an office. When she means an office, like in the United States, the office is really not for the First Lady. It is just, because she hosts events and all of that. So she has a lean, but they allocate cards just in case Ayo becomes a First Lady. We need to make sure that Ayo has a good. I'm just messing with you. No, it's not a joke, but it is the truth. It is the fair. This is the fair fact.
No,
it needs to be.
Realistic.
If we're being realistic.
With due respect, we can equally start having elections for the office of the First Lady too.
Well,
and conducted by INEC. If that's the case, we should not open room for any bureaucracy of some sort.
Right.
Two shall become one. The Bible says. You quote Bible a lot. So the president and his wife are one. Okay. There's no extra office for
no extra office for the First Lady. Well, let's see. Maxwell is advocating that.
Well, guys. Just analysis. What do we do? Just analysis, okay? Then now, let's go on with what happened in Ghana last last weekend. Let's go.
The event was approved by the government in November 2023. All special guests, including the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in 2023, Peter Obi, Professor Lumumba from Kenya, Dr. Ari Kana from Zimbabwe, and a host of others scheduled to speak at the convention tagged Igniting the Voices of Africa had arrived at the location for the event, where thousands of people had gathered from all over Ghana and around the globe when the organizers of the event were informed of the cancellation just hours before the event's commencement, eliciting outrage.
Peter Obi on a flyer. I will spend the last penny to be here. I stand here as the General Secretary of the over 12.5 million Ghanaian students of this country. To my knowledge, almost all student leaders in this country were invited to this convention. Why? They know this is a convention that will ignite the voices of Africa. They know this is a convention that we would have to listen to the other encroachments of other countries. I got here and I'm told that powers from above have stopped the program. I'm sad. Let us all unite to uphold and make us great and strong. We might not be at the convention, but that will not stop the conversation.
152. 153.
Wow. It was painful that people traveled from different places for that convention, which was supposed to hold last Sunday, last Sunday or so, but it was cancelled. It's a pity that African leaders are following, they're not abiding with the rule of law. It's so painful that great men like this, with Obi, Lumumba, all of them wanted to. It was a lecture, but I don't know why they were scared. I don't really know why they were scared. It's just painful that African leaders are still like this. It's painful, okay? But the struggle continues. We want a better Africa. We want a better country. We don't agree for anybody. That is the truth. We don't agree for anybody. We will make sure everything works out well. Okay? That is it. So we don't give in. We don't give up. That's our logo. Yeah, let's continue to listen to them. Let's listen to them. Okay. Let's listen to them.
That the Osagie for Kwame Nkrumah spoke to the world that the independence of Ghana meant nothing if the continent of Africa was not free.
We may not be at the convention center, but we intend to continue to preach the gospel of truth until we reach the promised land.
Well, this was an unfortunate event. Last week, the young people of Ghana trooped out en masse in protest against this event that was supposed to, speak to the youth, ignite Africa. They had amazing speakers here, but obviously, like you heard Peter Obi and the rest of the speakers there say that it's not the end of the event. They're going to move it to another place. But the government came out with some ridiculous reason, saying that unforeseen circumstance caused the cancellation. Dr. Abati, really quickly.
Isn't this how African leaders and African governments behave generally? This was Constitution Day on Sunday.
Yes.
And earlier in the day, the same president of Ghana, Akufo-Addo, in a statement, had said his government was committed to the freedom of assembly and association, which is Article 21, Sub 1 of the Ghana Constitution. Article 21 of Ghana Constitution recognizes the freedom of assembly. And yet, the same day, the same government, an approval for an event that it has given on November 11, 2023, decided to cancel just 2 hours to the beginning of the event. And what is the excuse? The Diaspora Affairs Department of the government of Ghana, which appears to be a very confused department of the government of Ghana, has come up with 2 different kinds of statements. First, it says it wasn't canceling the convention, that it was canceling the Red Line Festival. So, which is the convention, which is the Red Line Festival? In another explanation, this same Department of Diaspora Affairs says that there was tension at the venue, at the Black Star Square, between the organizers and the military. Hence, they had to cancel, and they've asked the organizers to come and collect their 10,000 Ghanaian cedis, which they had collected since November. That's how, African governments, behave. They talk about commitment to the Constitution, but at the same time, what has been violated in that event on Sunday, January 7 in Ghana, is the right of the people to the freedom of assembly and association. And beyond that, is a blot on Ghana.
Right.
Because this was meant to be an international event, and truly it was, with persons from Zimbabwe, from South Africa, from Nigeria, from other parts of the world. And yet the government of Ghana did not see the connection with the image of the country.
Right.
I think it was a case of the president himself eating his own words about his commitment to the Ghanaian constitution and the provision of Article 21.
All right.
The true case of what happened was a subtext of dirty politics. Bediako was on this seat you sat down on a couple of months ago. Finally, there's been a poster going around in Ghana as regards a masked face. Finally, the masked face has been unveiled, and Bediako, the real estate mogul, wants to run for presidency. Right. He was the one that called all those people for this conference. He's tried to put a slant of Pan-Africanism and bringing people together, but it's also around this presidential campaign and initiative. Exactly. So this was what really happened, and that's why the government did this, which is wrong, because you shouldn't stifle opposition. So the subtext is politics.
Absolutely. Really unfortunate incident in Ghana. Africans need to unite, as always. Well, let's end.
Wow, man. That's cool. Guys, that is this is the first time that happened this week. And too bad that we are allowing impunity to reign in Africa, okay? But we all need to stand up, really. We need to stand up. That is the truth. We need to stand up. Anyway, I said today was we had the Supreme Court had pronounced judgment on many cases, okay? Many cases today. So let's just watch the end of the court proceeding now after the court sessions, what happens. Or before then, let me just show you a part of how the people were greeting and all those governors, all those politicians, all of them, the way they were. How do I say it? The way they were. Is they happy now? Okay. But I won't just be watching it, okay? Just to feed your eyes, okay? But Nigeria, we need to really save that country, man. We need to do something. That is the truth. Because what do we do? Because the country needs help. We need serious help. We need serious help. We need serious help. Okay? And so we do it. It's you and I that will do it. It's you and I that will do it. There's no other person else that will do it. It's we, okay? It's we. So this was today at the court premises, Supreme Court, preparing for today. And I would say, especially in Kano State, where people were really apprehensive what's going to happen. I believe the judges and all of them, they knew that if they turned around against NNPP, there will be war in Kano State, and that means the crisis may start from Kano State. So they did their part, and so the governor that was sacked before by the lower court was reinstated, rather. So at least it does the tension. It does the tension, okay? Because I wish the Nigerian youth they do boy too, as they cannot do boy, because had it been the case was really against NPP, I wonder what could happen right now in Kano State. I wonder. I wish they could have passed such emotion, such unity to the national level. Because what happened during the presidential election was a sham, was a shame, and there was supposed to be a real nationwide protest. But didn't happen. Look at the governor of the court, all of them are coming. Politicians, man, for me personally, I don't trust them, man. They are all after themselves, after their own stuff. Selfish interest, okay? So I just pray. It's annoying, it's painful. See all the effort of the Libyan movement, every Nigerians, man. For to defeat the election, what they did, they came out to vote massively and shame, the pity, and we hope for the best, and let's encourage be his vice, Medati, to encourage those people, what they are going through, even right now, the pressure on them. Not you may not know. Those behind the scene, they will know. They will not know all, but they too know what is supposed to be passing through. Their personal lives, the pressure from everywhere, the insults from people. These are people that want to serve Nigeria genuinely. They want to serve Nigeria genuinely, to make things right, to make the country right, to right the wrongs of the past years. To right the wrongs of the past years, but that's Nigeria for you. That's Nigeria for you. All these jackass, all these old people, they be in power, they circulate themselves, they will do as governor, from governor to minister to senate to. They don't mind saying to big local government chairman. They don't want to do that because they cannot do the other thing. They don't do that business. Their own is money and squander the money. Because they cannot do that thing. They just feel, they don't believe politics is their career. They cannot do that thing. They cannot just be elder statesmen, I mean, they cannot just politics do their own part and leave. No. They're just staying there. Even the so-called governors that they are siphoning. We need people that will come out and talk and stay and make sure no. It's just it's painful. It's a story. How did we get here? As I sit down and say, how did we get here? How did we get here? How? What happened? What happened to us? What happened to Nigerians? What happened? What really happened? What really happened? This is it's just too bad. But anyway, guys, as you watch, kindly like, share, comment. What do we do? What do? People are tired. What do we do? People are suffering. What do? People are tired. Make sure the right thing is done. Make sure the right thing is done. Okay? That is it too. That is what I will say. God save Nigeria, God help Nigeria. Nigeria is blessed. We are so blessed. We have everything we work can take off. But the very few people are just doing otherwise. Making life unbearable to others. Anyway. One way out. But if you don't wait God, we cannot do it alone. No. Everybody must be on. All hands must be on deck. You can talk the talk. Anything you can do, you do. If you can do, you do. To make things right. To make things right. Because this is not just fair. Not just fair. All these governors today, I mean, the Lagos State, Plateau State, Abia State, Kano State, Kano State, it was Lagos. I really fought for, that young high road. I know
the Supreme Court has decided this morning that
he did. I know he did his part. He put his best shot. Yeah, he shot his best shot, man. That's part of the threat. He did. But we keep on pushing on. As I've said, the Kano own, they could not just have tried it. Because if not, maybe the revolution people have been hoping for and praying for would have started in that place. Yeah. Maybe it was started in that place. So, well, anyway, I think let's just watch the lawyers as the close of the court session today after the judgment. Let's just listen to them what they need to say. Let's just listen to them. Let's hear what they need to say. Okay. Let's listen to them. Okay. I'll be right back. Let's listen to them.
Yeah. Thank you very much. What a year to begin the new year. What a way. Is the Lord's doing? He tells us in 3 Lamentations 37. Who is it that speaketh, and it cometh to pass, if the Lord has not commanded it? Today, we have put a final full stop to the very funny, very puerile appeal by Professor Sandy Ono against a duly elected governor, the duly elected governor of Cross River State, who had over 266,000 votes and defeated him with over 79,000 votes, talking about his qualification, academic qualification, even when they themselves attached documents to show that Senator Prince Basi Otu, the governor of Cross River State, not only had primary school, secondary school, but also had a University of Calabar degree, Bachelor of Science, Sociology. They went on and on. They somersaulted in the middle of the game through their reply to the petition to begin to talk about forgery and discrepancies in certificates. But they had no single evidence to prove, or just to scurrilize the governor and paint him with the tar brush of shame. But today, the Supreme Court rose up and said no to shenanigans. And for the deputy governor, Honorable Ode, a young man who ran with the governor and they both were elected, they said he had dual citizenship and that he allegedly swore to an oath of allegiance to the British government. They had no single evidence. But even then, what the Supreme Court did today, in all their judgments, which were very pro-masses, giving bite to the sanctity of the ballot box and the ballot paper to the fact that votes will not only be counted, but must be allowed to count. The Supreme Court today said, once you are a citizen of Nigeria by birth, irrespective of whether you acquire a second citizenship of another country, even countries, even 20 countries, going by sections 28 and 182 of the Constitution, your citizenship of Nigeria can never be removed or erased because of that, your acquisition of a letter citizen. So that issue has finally been laid to rest because it had continued to rear its ugly head in our electoral and constitutional jurisprudence over the years. Today, the Supreme Court had the opportunity to pronounce upon it. Look at the judgment in Plateau State. This is why we are going to look at this issue carefully, whether some judgments should really stop at the Court of Appeal level. Because all the senators and the House of Representatives and the members of the House of Assembly, they all had their elections truncated by the intermediate court, the Court of Appeal, on the baseless ground that PDP in Plateau State had no structures. When they know that the issue of structures, the issue of primaries, the issue of congresses, the issue of nomination of candidates, the issue of membership, when they know that all these are internal affairs of a political party, and that they are all pre-election matters, that you could only challenge within 14 days of the happening of that event under Section 84 of the Electoral Act and Section 285 of the Constitution. But the Court of Appeal did a lot of damage to our electoral jurisprudence by removing people who were validly elected by their people as senators, as House of Representative members, and as House of Assembly members. And of course, those decisions ended there because the Supreme Court has no opportunity to look at those judgments. This is why we may have to again look at this issue, whether we should allow such petitions to stop at the Court of Appeal level. Today, the Supreme Court did marvelously well, and I am happy that I've always defended the judiciary in my 43 years of legal practice, particularly the Supreme Court, because like some learned authors have stated, particularly Alexander Hamilton, in his Federalist paper number 78, the judiciary is the weakest of the three arms of government because it has neither sword nor pulse. It therefore behoves on us as much as possible to defend the judiciary, but to also be bold enough to point out errors when errors they do commit. So I have no regrets in my consistent stance defending the judiciary as the weakest arm of government, because without the judiciary, we can never have a virile democracy. God bless the judiciary. God bless the Supreme Court today for its decisions that were highly pro-masses, were highly consistent, and were highly redemptive, giving vent, giving flesh to the sanctity of the ballot box and the ballot paper. And that henceforth, politicians, lawyers, and judges must know that the votes of the people must be counted and that the votes must
count. Because the facts are clear, just like the justices of the Supreme Court has rightly mentioned. Of course, we did the election. Senator Basio too won the election overwhelmingly. And of course, every cross-variance is cited that this is a mandate that we work for, and no anyone won the election overwhelmingly. And of course, every cross-variance is cited that this is a mandate that we work for, and no any look, when you look at the facts that were raised, they are just rebellious, and that is why the appeal was dismissed immediately. So today, I think we will have to congratulate His Excellency the Governor of Cross River State, so that he can settle down, and then we'll drive Cross River State to the next level. All of us are happy. The supporters are here. The town is filled. Abuja is filled. Cross River is empty because everybody is celebrating, and we are celebrating all through. My name is Senator Odi. I'm the current Commissioner for Education Cross River State.
Well, my name is Lawal Pedro, Senior Advocate of Nigeria and Attorney General of Lagos State. I've just had the privilege of listening to the judgments delivered in the two separate appeals. And the judgment of the Supreme Court is, to my opinion, insoluble, straight to the point, and able to state that yes, truly, the governor of Lagos State won this election. And I think with the judgment of the Supreme Court today, being the first one delivered today among all the judgments to be delivered in respect of Lagos State, it is now time to do what we call go back to governance. And we have seen to the end of this election process this time around. So I say once again, congratulations to my governor and the deputy governor and the people of Lagos State, and that the Supreme Court has just validated, confirmed, unequivocal that yes, this is the right people that won the election, and they were not at all disqualified. And the Supreme Court has been able to lay the capital to tell us that once a Nigerian is a Nigerian by birth, that right cannot be taken away from him because he has declared or obtained another passport or become a citizen of another country. That is the end of the case. And I believe other matters similar to this will use this as precedent. So I say once again, thank you for listening to us.
Yes. Well, we are happy that the victory of Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State at the elections has once more been vindicated by the Supreme Court. You remember that we won at the tribunal. They went to the Court of Appeal. We won also at the Court of Appeal. And now, for the third time and for the final time, the highest court in the land, the apex court, the Supreme Court, has also given him victory. So we are very happy, and as it is said, all is well that ends well. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, I'm very excited, I'm very happy and grateful to God, our Creator, for this moment. It is a very, very...
La fondue sentait un peu la salle.
I'm just playing the videos of the reactions today. The reactions today. Let's continue to watch it.
Nigeria, and it is the attestation and affirmation of good governance and faith in the judiciary and judicial process and in the corporate existence of Nigeria, that at least you must have faith in our system, that it is not always true that things are not good. And we can see that this judgment is a remarkable judgment, and I'm very pleased, not just for myself, but for the people who have faith in me and my supporters, and even those who did not vote for me, that may the victory be a starting point for prosperity and growth of the
the people of Bauchi State and Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you.
Manager. I'm manager. If not, all this microphone, I'm your manager.
I mean, there is, I don't know what word we use in the English language to describe the redeeming intervention of the Supreme Court in this judgment, which, as you said, has been described as perverse. The detailed analysis of how the Supreme Court came to the conclusion that the judgment is perverse will be clear when we have copies of the judgment. But for now, as you heard me say in court, but for the Supreme Court, but for the Supreme Court, but for the Supreme Court, gross injustice will have happened in this land.
Officer, how do you think this judgment will go in students? Talking about the cases of voting, not compliance with the Electoral Act, and non-accreditation was alleged by them at the trial court. So what do you say about that?
What the Supreme Court has said today is building on what it rendered in Oyetola's case. It has set out the clear parameters by which those allegations of electoral malpractices ought to be proved. And in this case, that was not proved. So it was strange that the lower court came to the conclusion that the allegation of malpractice was proved in some areas and that the fresh election should be conducted. Thankfully, the Supreme Court has rightly intervened and no other election will be conducted because the governor of Zamfara State, duly elected by the people of Zamfara State, stands to my right.
Well, let me start by saying, Alhamdulillah, we thank God for this wonderful judgment. It's actually what I was expecting, so I believe the judiciary are doing very well. And Zamfara people are happy, and we're grateful. We will now go back, settle down, and do the needful in terms of governance.
Sir, it's for the betterment of Zamfara State. Will be opening an arm of friendship and inclusive governance to other political parties, irrespective of the differences we've had?
What matters to me as a governor is progress of Zamfara. So whoever is ready, irrespective of party line, is welcome.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Congratulations, sir.
He has to come out. He has to come out.
I just came out of court now. No, you speak.
Okay, it's a beneficiary.
Yeah, the court has affirmed the election. What does this mean to you?
Well, let me first and foremost thank God Almighty for a day like this, and thank my legal team and the All Progressive Congress and the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Especially, let me thank the courts for delivering justice to the people of Ebonyi State. I am very grateful to the courts.
What it means is that the position of the PDP, which it held a long time ago, that court order that was said to have been disobeyed was obeyed. My lords confirmed today that the order of court was obeyed. But most importantly, we canvassed a case from the tribunal to the Supreme Court that the court of law does not have jurisdiction to inquire into nomination, sponsorship. And the tribunal, led by Justice Rita Irele Ifije, confirmed that the court does not have jurisdiction. God bless their souls. And their judgment, the Erutai judgment, was set aside by the Court of Appeal. And today the Supreme Court has done them proud to restore their judgment. God bless them. And we're saying that, like Dodo SAN said before the Supreme Court, thank God for the Supreme Court. If there was no Supreme Court, Caleb Mutfwang, His Excellency, wouldn't be governor as we speak. But because there's a Supreme Court that is desperate to restore hope, the hope of the people in the judiciary, Today, all the judgments that were delivered by the Supreme Court were based on justice, not emotion, not anything, but based on justice. And we're very proud of them. God bless them. You remember the day the Court of Appeal rendered their judgment, I said that the members of the National Assembly and State Assembly have unfortunately met their sudden death at the Court of Appeal. Today it has been restored. It was on that note that my Lord, Inyang Okoro JSC, talked about casualties, and we're saying that something ought to be done. You know, in law, it is said, ibi jus, ibi remedium. There's no injury that should not attract a remedy. The constitutional provision, there should be an amendment to our laws to contain a situation where such error by courts will be remedied. And I hope even in this case that something will be done by the grace of God. But we will still have to look at it and know whether there's any window, lawful window, not abuse of court process, that can be employed. But we are very happy that the Supreme Court has lived up to its billing. I'm not commenting on our judgment, Plateau alone. I'm talking about all the judgments. 7 judgments that were delivered today were all based on justice, not politics, not emotion. And we thank God for the Supreme Court. Thank you.
I think the lawyers should handle it. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I want to first of all give glory to God Almighty, who has made this possible. To Him alone be the glory. And I want to thank their lordships who have today restored confidence in the judiciary. Their lordships have demonstrated courage, and they have raised the hope of the ordinary man in Nigeria that justice is still available in Nigeria. I want to thank Mr. President for showing himself a true Democrat and not allowing the space, the political space, to become intoxicated. He has also shown that he is also a beneficiary of the people's votes, and that he will also always allow and support the judiciary to perform its role. I want to thank the people of Plateau State who have stood by me. I want to thank Nigerians who have stood by us. I want to thank the international community that have also insisted that the votes of the people must count in Nigerian democracy. I want to thank all of you, and I say God bless. Yes. We have just crossed a bridge. When we have settled down to savor this victory, we will know what to do. Thank you.
Our gratitude goes to their lordship for the speed and quality of their reasoning in disposing of the various judgments that came up today in the about 7 or 8 different governorship election petitions. And we are happy that today, Abia people can rest Mr. Governor's election has been further validated by their lordships, and they can now face the real business of governance, with greater vigor. We thank their lordship for a very, very sound judgment that meets with people's expectation, and we can only wish them God's strength. Thank you.
All right.
Congratulations once again. All the accused
We see the Russians today.
Sorry? If you heard me
We'll
a
see.
little while ago, I said today is a remarkable day in the legal history of our country because we must appreciate their lordships for the great deal of work they have done. Our combined years of practice put together, we do not know of any Supreme Court in the world that in one day has rendered this number of judgments and this quality of judgments. So speaking as ministers in the Temple of Justice, all of us here and our colleagues who are not here are extremely gratified that the Supreme Court has corrected the obvious errors that were committed by the lower courts. So today is a great day for the nation. It's a day of thanksgiving and is indeed a day of redemption both for the judiciary and for the political class.
Right, guys.
Thank you.
I leave it there, okay? That was court election today. It is so. That is how it is. There was jubilation in Kano State. If in Kano State, people are happy. I mean, on other states too. But that's how it is, guys. Now, before I call it a day, let me go to Fubara, the weekly. Your case is on, man. We don't know. Your case is very, very on. Your case is very, very on. The House of Assembly, that was it 1 days ago, they said the governor should revisit, should bring back the budget, and that Fubara guy, I don't know. God, for me, I would say God help him. That's what I'll be saying. God help him, because he's I don't know. I don't think he knows what he's doing for now. I don't really know. But all the same, they're all the same people. I don't really care about. I don't really care about him. Seriously, man. Seriously, I don't really care. It's just that the River State people. That is what I'm concerned about. But say him, all those stuff, I don't really care. Okay, I don't really care. Well, it's too bad. Damn too bad. Damn too bad. Fubara is on a tight rope. I should use that word. It's on a really tight rope. Okay. It's on a tight rope. So God help you. God help you. God help you.
Ruler and reappointing or appointing the chairman of Traditional Rulers Council. Some of the hotels that were located in some of the local governments, especially my local government, was affected because the management will not refuse that they wear masks. And the governor, out of anger that the chiefs did not do what he instructed them to do, sacked them, didn't recognize them. Mr. Speaker, if this law has been amended at the time, the matter will come before this assembly. And the assembly will touchlight it and see that it was not the problem of the chieftaincy.
The reason of repealing this law is that things today are of the high side. Mr. Speaker, I know you are aware of this situation we face in this country, how things have tripled in this country, where some families find it difficult to have a square meal.
Yeah, I'm not saying to show that the case has not settled.
Asked to pay
I just had it
sum of 5 million naira before you can assess.
Trying to be swallowed in public. In fact, they know swallowing in public. They know that what is. They told them read the elections. They just read the elections, so they should fight it out. Okay?
Economic meltdown in the
just on a short.
I'm supporting this bill that it should be repealed.
This better. I just want to. I feel something is wrong somewhere. That's my personal view. Because the Hardiman that took 4 billion naira, the case is less now. Or like better that have the standard of 4 million naira. That is the major thing right now. It's like we are leaving out the main culprits. Because when it was better that unravel this thing that there is really crisis in the material affair. People are stealing money. And maybe she made mistakes, so maybe she did some things that's not right. Okay, but we have forgotten the 4 billion naira that was stolen by Anima. That is what people don't. Now they are just saying, better. But they have forgotten that Anima for 4 billion naira. I mean, he paid it to have personal account. Nigeria should wake up. We should face that big money, 44 billion naira. I know they said she has brought back 30 billion naira. We still have billions left there. The people are just concentrating on 4 million naira. But I do. You know, they are trying to. I don't know if seriously. She didn't pay to her personal account. She paid to her that she paid the money into the account of the Qatar personnel. But we should be objective. Let's be objective. Let's be smart. It was when the 44 billion naira, that was that when they are accusing her. So she have made some mistakes, no problem. But let's just listen to this guy. I have been saying this before I heard from this guy. Let's listen to this guy. We may not, we may be missing the real thing here, and it will not be fair that Nigerians are after after this small thing. Who are the big fishes there? And we have forgotten that. And after better I do. Be smart too. We should just be smart. We should be smart. Okay? We should be smart. All right. Anyway, let's listen to this one. If I come back, I'll call it a day. Okay? If I come back, I'll call it a day. All right. Okay. Where did I go? Okay. Let's just listen to this guy, to this analysis. And then I will come back.
Against the suspended Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, as investigations are still ongoing. Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, who is the chairperson of the forum, is urging Nigerians to wait till the end of the ongoing investigations before concluding on the allegations. He insists that the case against the minister is just an allegation. And to have another look at this development, I have with me in the studio public policy analyst Chibuzo Okirike. Thank you so much, Chibuzo, for joining us.
Good evening.
Yeah, I mean, this investigation is taking different dimension. We've seen all the accused persons going to the EFCC, their passports being seized. But here is a counsel from the progressive governor saying that these are mere allegations. Does it look like they are trying to whitewash Betta Edu, or indeed they are trying to help prove her innocence?
Well, I think that what is happening is very unfortunate. We're looking at a young woman who is very pragmatic, who is bold,
who is productive, who has been able to demonstrate as a poster lady for this administration. You know, at the inception of the administration, especially when the ministers were appointed, I was on several stations, you know, on policy setting, agenda, and what have you. And this particular ministry, you know, in the last administration, the whole Nigerians wanted us to open it up, understand the National Social Register, and what have you. And we say that we have to look out for ministers that will be able to give us a roadmap in 2 to 3 months. And this particular minister did it in just a week, saying that we're going to audit the National Social Register. She even took it to the Federal Executive Council, and even at the state level, everybody agreed we need to conduct an audit of the register and ensure that the people that are supposed to be there are there. She also said that they are going to make sure that the Renewed Hope, grant for vulnerable people are delivered to them. And she even put a figure that by 2024 or so, they are going to have over 72 million Nigerians reached. I mean, that was bold, that was courageous, that was somebody actually living out the Renewed Hope agenda, and it's quite unfortunate. And I've been able to track. I've asked myself, I've decided that I'm going to be, even if I'm the lone voice on this particular matter, because there is an issue when we discredit people that have demonstrated leadership and commitment to public service. We may be doing our nation a very big danger.
Yeah, but the investigations are ongoing.
No, there's something I wanted to say.
There are facts also.
If the documents in the public domain are the only charges or misconduct that the Honorable Minister is being accused of, I'm sorry to say this, there are non-issues there.
And what do you mean by that?
That particular memo that was released relied on the federal government financial regulation number 713 that talks about individuals should not deposit public funds in government accounts, but be part of it says government funds should not be paid to private account. And this is a regulation for 2009. At the time, we have not implemented TSA. Nobody has drawn attention to the financial regulation number 1402 that talks about advances for disbursement for special projects, that actually project managers and project accountants can receive those monies and disburse them. If the argument is that these financial rules or regulation need to be reviewed, that it doesn't look okay, then the argument will make sense. Not that there is an infraction. I can tell you today, even if you go to the office of the permanent secretary in Villa, any ministry you think about, any agency or government, you cannot operate the TSA account dealing with your operational costs, dealing with other logistics without having project accountants being credited.
Yeah,
and there's a difference between an officer who has official responsibility to take charge and disburse funds and a private individual completely, except we are saying that the 585 million credited to the project manager or project accountant were not disbursed to the beneficiaries.
Yeah, actually the ministry is a peculiar one, because from my discovery also, I've discovered that a lot of Nigerians who are supposed to be paid some of those monies do not really have accounts. So they were meant to have been paid in cash. But wasn't there a particular regulation that stated all of this? And these regulations are the ones being made known by including people from the humanitarian ministry, to say that this is actually how we have been doing it, and this is how we're told, even if we're to hand out cash. Because these narratives are changing by the day, and with the APC governors coming into it, it's getting confusing.
In this country, our vice president, the former vice president, we saw him in the market distributing trade and money and what have you. That is why I say we are leaving the issue and trying to destroy somebody who has demonstrated leadership and courage. I tell you this, if what we have in the public is the so-called offense, I think that the people are after the president and not the ministry or the minister. Because this is one ministry that I think about that is dealing with anything called renewed hope. If you have 130 million multidimensional Nigerians, Where do you think we're going to go?
Yeah, but there are also contra allegations
Yeah.
we've seen being peddled against Olubutunji Ojo. That look, some of these verification contracts that were signed off by Better Edu were not executed, and that some of this verification, it looks like the companies just collected these monies and stayed in Abuja, and we don't have evidence. Finance.
All these are mere allegations.
Well,
because
you would have seen that
we don't have any evidence that maybe there is no procurement process that happened. And the procurement process is not a wishful thinking. It is something that is documented procedurally. And you're going to have the company embark on the whole process, have internal audit to do so. And if there is concrete evidence to this, then the people can bring it out. What is unfortunate, you know why I'm saying this? We've got this minister who has demonstrated tremendous courage and commitment to the administration. If the president talked about doing a monitor and evaluation retreat in this first quarter, if that happens, this minister would have been one of those people they will give standing ovation for. Yeah, in just few months, she has been to over 15 states in the north, down to the ordinary people. And she dresses like them. They are excited receiving her.
Well, that's politics.
Apart from, you're going political. There is something about identity. I'm speaking professionally to say, because I've observed her from the side. Right? I don't have any, she's not my sister or my brother or what have you. What I am saying is that I have observed somebody distinguish herself, and a trend we are using to gain traffic online by, doing a cruise on personality and crashing people's image and trying not to allow them to do what they're supposed to do for the country. Why? We are the ones saying that the young people should come and take over.
But young people have to also follow the rules.
If there is evidence that young people have, committed infractions, the laws are there to deal with it.
Okay.
What bothered me is that we have a huge banner shouting, oh, this minister asks that the money should be credited to the private citizen.
Yeah, I mean, it's public funds, and the public has a right to actually vent the anger. But the reason why I actually brought you here,
stop other people from airing their views.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we've always been balanced about it here at Arise News. But the reason why I brought you here is about the APC governors. Now, the Progressive Governors Forum are coming into this and asking Nigerians to take a second look at it, that these are mere allegations, investigations must be allowed to get to, fruition and all of that. Doesn't it look like APC is beginning to look at this thing from a political angle rather than from the national interest angle?
I don't think it's from a political angle. The person we're talking about was a former national woman leader of the APC who was all over the place, during the campaign. Also, the president himself has suspended her and asked that investigation be conducted. So what is political about saying what the Constitution have already said, that you are innocent until you're proven guilty? That is simply what the Progressive Governors Forum has done. And don't forget that we are in a political arena. There are also other underhands and undercurrents that could be
What are those undercurrents?
Anybody that, if you are in a political environment, genuine citizens who are concerned that humanitarian affairs is a strategic ministry that can help.
Very strategic. You and I know how the MBS says we have 133 million poor Nigerians. So if the ministry is supposed to cater to them and it looks like something is going wrong there,
absolutely, there should be a cleanup. But that cleanup should not be turned to a political war to drag somebody down, especially when what we have publicly is the only thing they have been able to advance. I tell you this, if there is anything indicting under our law or incriminating that this minister, had committed, I'll be the first to come here to tell you I disassociate myself with it. But if this is what we have in the public domain, is what they are discussing, it's happening in every ministry. So it's a question of us saying, let us call for reform, that this TSA is making it impossible for certain transactions to be conducted.
Before I let you go.
The minister didn't write that financial regulation, 14002, subsection, III of it, that deals with special projects and other. But let me also say this.
Very quickly,
the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry cannot afford to go one day without leadership. This
Yeah,
is
that's why
very
President
important.
Tinubu has already asked
Yeah.
that the permanent secretary for the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry
Yeah.
should take charge at the moment. Very quickly, in 30 seconds before I let you go, do you foresee Better Edu coming back to that position? Because you seem so optimistic, despite what the public is saying.
No, which public? The public I know today, Nigerians, even on social media, are saying this is political war, this is a conspiracy, they just set a trap.
Interesting times ahead.
So if you go to the public, there are many publics, right? Even the theory of two publics is this. But I expect that she should come back because she's pragmatic, she's got the energy, and we saw her on top of her games. And don't forget that they've been calling her out for many things, and I think that we should allow young people show their energy and capacity to move our country forward.
All right, Chibuzo Okereke, we must thank you immensely.
I propose to that too, so that we know there could be many things happening. We are too blindfolded to see the facts. I don't know how. I don't really know what is happening, but I believe something is happening somewhere. Because right now, as I said, somebody stole 44 billion into our private account. Right now, we don't talk about that time. We're talking about 400 million, 440 million naira. Actually, that was disposed to other person's account. According to them, it's an personnel in the office. We know this material stuff. They give us cash by hand, all those stuff. I don't know. I'm just trying to, now we've forgotten the 44 billion naira. Where had it been a secretary, she paid money into her own account now. It's different. The people will not pay into her own account. Look, guys, I don't know what to say. At times, maybe I would say maybe corruption is fighting back against her. I've said it before. I said it before. Maybe corruption is fighting back against her, and maybe she made some mistakes. So okay, maybe she made some mistakes. That is true. She could make some mistakes. I still believe corruption is fighting back against her because definitely that woman now, that's 44 billion into her private account under 5 days. What's her reason? She said can you mistakenly take the money into different accounts, your own personal relations and relations account, mistakenly. Then after you just said it was because Pedro was taking money. That was actually removed all those money. Okay, let's assume what you remove those money because Pedro took 430 million to somebody's account, a personnel in the office there. Social media, I don't know, social media, TV stations are just talking, better do, better gate. Yes, call it better gate, no problem. But the truth must be said. Maybe I believe this girl, she's working hard. I believe she's trying her best. I believe she's pushing for the right thing to be done. I believe she's, pragmatic as past, youthful energy. She wants to excel. She wanted the best. She may make some mistake, or maybe she may step on some toes too. She may step on some toes too that are trying to bring up all these things and that they paid money to, so 430 million. And these people, these recipients, they don't have accounts. That means we give them in cash. No, stories to tell though. And then somebody was saying they only contracts. If she's just the only person that will just have a contract, pay the money without due diligence, let's be frank. Somebody that took 44 billion to help his account, that one now is very low. Nobody's talking of that one. People are just talking behind you, a youth, a young girl. We are seeing youth. Now youth are now the worst. Come on. This is not fair, really, man. It's not fair. Let's be realistic. It's not fair. We should be, yeah, she could be wrong, but let's be realistic. Let's calm down. Let's analyze this thing. Let's talk. Is she really wrong? Did she do wrong? These are things we need to analyze, man. Not just castigating her, left, right, and center, and this one better to the youth who say should give a chance to the youth. See what they are doing. No, The youth, yeah, we could make some mistake. Had it been now she paid the money into her personal account now, I was okay. Or had it been she paid into her own sister's account now, I was okay. Why did you do that? I was okay. She is basically a part of the ministry. Now we were told the money was paid to a person there in the a person there. You know, because again, I just brought out the papers, and then the other one that they approved flight from where they are to Kogi State, all those stuff. Look, people are doing worse thing than this. They are doing evil than this. For somebody to remove 44 billion naira for nothing, put in her own account, she's mistaken. How can you make mistake? 44 billion naira. Now, because you are exposed now, you were not implicate better you do using because you have influence too. Maybe you have influence in the in the in I don't know in some networks now. All eyes on better you do, better you do, better you do, better you do. Go to social media, go to Twitter, better you do. Meanwhile, the Halima has stole 44 billion naira. Nothing about her. Nothing about her. Nigerians, I don't know what is the problem. They cannot, it's okay, A, B, C, D. Why is this A like this? Why is it now that this one is coming out? Because somebody has been accused. Now that person is not saying because but I had to do this one, that was why she's taking the money. Is it your money that you will take it and put in your personal account? 40, not 1 million naira, 2 million naira, 400 million naira. No. 1 billion naira, no. 20 billion naira, no. 44 billion naira. Under 5 days. Who knows how much that lady has been taken to her personal account? Who knows? EFCC, do your job, oh. Do your job, man. EFCC, do your job. I'm not. I think let's be critical. These things. Let's look at all the angles, not just one side. Right now, all the Nigerian bandits are banded. The youth, if she stay money, 450. I don't think 450 million naira is a problem. No, it's not a problem. Maybe she was just trying to be energetic. Let's get it done. Let's go and help these people. Okay. These people don't have accounts that they are happy. They don't have bank account. How do you help them? You can see when the VP was giving money to the market women. It's not my hand. But now people are just crying, shouting, better I do, better I do, better I do, better I do. This is not fair. I'm not saying we should not let's do things properly. No. This is not fair. Now we have left the main person now that's 244 billion naira now. We don't have to better ID because she exposed that person. Nigeria should be smart. The youth cannot do anything. The youth cannot do anything. We've tried the youth now, and they fade. No, no, no. At other times, no. Let's assume the youth fade. Who is teaching them? It's not the people on top. The elders there that are stealing, that are still stealing. Maybe they are all is masterminded. They know how to do it, cover the loopholes. They don't cover the loopholes. They expose their own. They thief. They don't care. They believe you cannot do nothing. You cannot do nothing. That's what they believe. But I do now. But I do now. She's the one taking the gun of the atrocity of that Halima that stole 44 billion naira. And people are quiet. Even the press are not talking about that one again. They just say it. She has returned 33 billion naira to FCC. What of those other billions that are remaining? What of the money that she has been stealing before that fight? Before that 44 billion naira? We should all these journalists that we should be investigative in our dealings. Be investigative. Be investigative. Be investigative. We should find out the root cause of all this stuff. It's not just Betaidu, not just Betaidu. No, not Betaidu. She may be wrong. Okay, how much is 450 million naira that she would not dent herself into it? And she didn't take it into her own account to not her own account to that Halima's 2,544 billion naira into her personal account, her family's account. And she said it was a mistake. Now, this is annoying. It's annoying. And people are not talking of Betaido. They left the person that stole the big money of it. Her own is just small news. If you go to Twitter, Bettergate. Instead of to be Harima Gate, no. Bettergate. I wrote it too, Bettergate too. I'm saying I did write too, Bettergate. At the beginning, I didn't just felt okay. Let's be realistic. Let's see what is happening. Let's analyze it. Let's analyze it. This is a lady that has been hardworking, trying to push many things. And now she said they will through investigation to the former things of the ministry, which man we saw billions of naira missing, losing. Now they just use small money, 4 million naira to deceive. I don't know to trap her because she has revealed those billions of naira that have been missing. Nigeria, I don't know if first want to do right in Nigeria, they will find a way to trick that person. That was what happened that time. I think Tam David West, the victim of Babangida, they said, and they gave him a watch. So that one is a bribe. So they gave him a watch. So that one is a bribe. When in petroleum industry, we talk of billions of naira, billions of dollars. People bribe with billions of dollars. And there was no way they could just to trap him. There was no way. That said, they gave him a gift of a wristwatch. Man, and people are carrying it. People are carrying it. News are carrying it. We left the main stuff. We are talking of the peripheral. Remember, the real McCoy is there. The real McCoy is there. People are stealing billions. We're not talking. We're not talking. This is not fair. If you want to work in Nigeria, you want to with your whole heart, people will use something against you. And the press will not help it. Press will blow it open, blow it up. People will be talking. The youth are not good. You will try Betaido now. Betaido has stolen for. He did not to her personal account. Not to her personal account. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something out too. Maybe the Halima that sold 44 billion naira fees. Nobody's talking about her. Just maybe once in a while. Maybe in writings of about 300, 290 will be for Betaido, then about 5 will be for her. The former minister that was there, all the money she stole. People don't talk about it again, the billions. But she was exposed. They now use this for something like that to tie in Betaido so that the investigation will be scattered. They will concentrate on her. Yeah, if you say do your job, I hope if you hear me, those people up there, please let's do the right thing. I know people that have the good heart to work, people will try to dirty their image. People can make mistake. That I know. Is any process too? People are bound to make mistake. They don't know all the procedures. But humanitarian affairs, we know if they take money, they give some money to people by hands. They 5,000, they always 20,000, they take it. This like that. They do like that. They do like that. That is the ministry there because most of the people there that are beneficiaries, they don't have accounts. They don't have accounts. But why should he pay the money to somebody's account? Why should he not to her personal account? They're not even talking about that guy that paid us billions of 4 billion, 100 times the money, 100 times the money that she could have taken, 100 times the money that I better it was as could of paying to another person's account. Somebody took it, paid it to her own account. I don't know, Nigeria. God help people. If he's guilty, no problem. Let the rule of law take its course, okay? If he's guilty, let the rule of take its course. But we should keep on saying the truth. We should not just be blindfolded because people are saying it and we'll be saying it. No, we don't do that. No, we don't do that because people are saying it. People are saying it. Even Peter Obi said something like that too. Yeah, critically, he was correct, but the Halima of a thing, did they talk about that one? No. because people talk about better do now, you to not talk about better do. No, it's not fair. It's not fair. I believe you give people, I mean, the right of that people have just people are just on her, just only her. This is not right. I believe she had a good will, the heart to help the people. I believe that. Yeah, with useful energy. I believe that. She may make some mistakes. I believe she had the heart to help the people. And now these people, they've succeeded in killing her visions, try to kill her vision, try to kill her morale, try to derail what she wanted to do. Because some thieves are stealing. Now they had a way to derail her. I beg you. It's not right, it's not fair, man. It's not right. It's not just right. No. It's not right. It's not right. What do you have to say? God help her. Let the truth prevail, okay? Let the truth prevail. That's what I will say. Let the truth prevail. Let the truth prevail, man. And it's painful to see what she's going through, right? What she's going through. If she really meant well for the nation, and people did this to her, that is not fair. Coming to South Nigeria is not it's not good. To serve the country is a challenge. Except the head is good also. Then Ghana who has this because if you are just under some people that are corrupt and you want to serve with your whole heart, I'm sure they will try to track you and fuck you and frustrate you and frustrate your life and implicate you. Implicate you. Man. Go help her. That's why the way that is the world we live in. When you are good, people try to frustrate your life. People try to frustrate your life. It's not fair. It's not right. It's not fair. It's not right. Too bad. Too bad. Anyway, that's how we see them more. That's how they say it. That's how we see them. This election, I mean, court rulings all around the all around the all around the nation. Kano State, different Kano State, Abia State, different places. It's been some nation. I mean, some that are partying. I should use the word partying. They are partying. Well, this one is to sign off. Zamfara State too. All of them, they were all there. They were all of them. But I'll use that to sign off. Okay, I'll use it to sign off. I have to go right now. But thank you guys for watching, and I will say God bless you guys, and I will say God bless you guys. You can see as you watch, kindly share.
Former governor of Kano State and Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, the New Nigeria People's Party NNPP presidential candidate. They are here.
Yeah, this is Kano State. This is Kano State after the court verdict today. So had it been Kano State, had it been they didn't do this one very well. I believe there will be riots. And that would have spread to all maybe to other states too, but they thought as much and they did the right thing there. Congratulations to those people congratulations to all of them. Use that word. So anyway, guys, I think I will stop here for today. It's kind of happy. They are happy. So,
move to the Friday mosques to offer their Friday prayers. Basically, that's what is going on in Kano State. The same thing is going on across the state. Earlier on, before the Supreme Court judgment, there have been normal hustle and bustle. People are doing their normal activities, anticipating the outcome of the Supreme Court. Now that the Supreme Court had ruled on the matter, they are out to celebrate.
Interesting thing to see people jubilating, celebrating on the road, but then it's one thing to celebrate, it's another thing to ensure that the celebration doesn't lead to any sort of injury, because I could see the way some people, you mentioned exotic cars and even some motorcycles, the way they're riding, some appear somewhat reckless. Who is taking cognizance of all of these to ensure that casualty, as a result of celebration is not incurred?
Yes, and some of the celebrations are in this area. As you can see, moments ago, a guy driving a black car just confronted us, and a lot of some of the celebrations are in this reckless. A few moments ago, a tricycle fell just close to me, and even though no injury was recorded, the celebrations are still ongoing. Well, we don't know, but we don't know who will take responsibility of that, but they are currently celebrating, and you can see the mood at which they are doing the celebrations. They are riding recklessly, so to say. Some of them displaying their skills, that the skills they know, and all that.
That's for today. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. Like, share, and comment.